quite yet. There we go. Okay, so we are back in, and if you guys just give me a moment, I'm going to go through and do all my hot-keying of all the gods so I can hopefully navigate and find as much of the action. And if I do end up missing any action, blame Scytheman, guys.
Yep, it's Hi's fault.
And one thing that has changed pretty drastically, and we've talked about a little bit, but I'd like to hear kind of the side from the competitive view, is the lack of invade that we used to see very early in the beta. Is that basically the risk is not worth the reward kind of a thing, or what?
It definitely still happens, but you're going to see the focus invade, especially with the game in the state it is now, around the prop buffs.
Yep, which we actually see right now. We have Agni going in and stealing Guan Yu's. Agni, oh man, we had an early kill there onto Loki from the, unfortunate for him, but we've even seen mids going HOG now, which we do see Agni having and Guan Yu.
It's pretty much core now because of the innate sustain and the ability to take prop buff. Prop buff gives you such an advantage in the early game. I honestly don't like it. I'm glad they're changing it next patch, but you know, it's you do what you got to do to win.
Right, absolutely. You got to adjust with it, and as the meta changes, but a lot of damage going on to Laziz. The freeze coming out onto, who is that, Vamana. Vamana, though, going to be trading the shots and getting pushed back quite a bit there, so Artemis not able to come in and land as many auto attacks as she was hoping. So both teams are going to fall back, and maybe a little bit of pressure still coming out here as Barbaric volleys the archers, and now they're just kind of going back to pushing the creep wave, so nothing, unfortunately, coming of that. But, you know, I was about to ask you what have you seen in the other lanes, but just remembered you can't. Artemis is taking a lot of pressure, the volley coming out. Vamana trying to follow up, but it looks like, again, it's just going to be a stalemate, and Vamana with that green buff will just fall back and have no real worry. And Takedi is playing mid here, and so who is... Oh, and actually Wigbeaner is in the match, and a Natalie. So quite a few subs, actually, on Procore, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if that's official yet, so I won't say anything. I'll say yes, 3 subs for now.
Okay, so some of these players are possibly going to be jumping onto Procore, which is what I'm assuming. Oh, Guan Yu dashing in, but using the 3, not enough damage coming out. So Zadman's team Procore is one, I would say, the newer top-tier teams in the game, or youngest, and so expected to have some changes here, so it will be exciting to see how they end up developing here. And oh, I was just going to come over there, hit the wrong button, and now with that Heavenly Agility trying to get away, auto attack still coming out, Loki trying to get as much damage in, might get the kill, there's the 3, burst damage coming out, and there's the chains now, not able to follow up, Ares can't get the kill, and now the tower gets a kill there onto Jerby, it looked like there, and I'm not sure how the tower got the kill, if he dove all the way in.
Expecting more damage than was there.
Yeah, I would expect that if he dove in there, he would have had the, still got the kill, if I'm not mistaken, right? As long as you put a little bit of damage in there, so not sure how.
Takedi probably didn't hit him at all.
Oh, that's kind of odd. Maybe just trying to stay alive. He had a lot of health though, still. So.
Jerb's ult is down, it seems. So I'd assume he ulted on the tower, expecting more damage than he got. And Takedi was probably on the defensive to start and didn't turn around and hit him with anything.
Oh,
so it just went to the tower.
Oh yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But I don't know if you saw that. You're gonna see it a little bit late, but a crit coming out from Artemis attack, barely missing that kill. Actually did quite a bit of damage. So it looks like it's going to be 1-to-1 with about a 500-600 gold lead, which is pretty minuscule as of right now. And so evening up pretty tight right now. It's really, you know, gosh, what's the word I'm trying to say? I just had like a major brain fart. My apologies. But what I was trying to say is that the differential is really low, which, I mean, sometimes we see, but, you know, sometimes not, especially with, you know, these lanes being pushed up. I don't know if you could see it, the mini-map at all, but Anher had his lane on the tower for like 2 minutes, it seemed like, and ends up just evening out. And so I don't know, when do you start seeing, you know, as a pro player, you guys start getting nervous? Is it really strictly based off the gold, or when are you like, oh man, we got to make some changes here?
if your plan is to win, you don't get nervous off the gold. You see the gold, you accept the differential, and you just kind of move on and say, okay, now how do we fix this? Do we need to focus on these objectives? Do we need to just try and not engage them, farm up in lane? But you never just kind of give up on a gold differential unless they're completely dominating you.
Ares ulting in middle lane, gonna have Guan Yu, and Loki pulls him out. There's the ults from Agni, and Guan Yu dashes away from a lot of the damage, however, steps back into the fire. There's the stun. Is he gonna be able to follow up with the 2? There it is, just barely, not enough damage. And Loki and Jerby are going to walk away from that, and Guan Yu just narrowly avoiding that one again. Vomana taking a lot of damage, has the ult. Are they going to be able to get the auto attacks into? Odin taken down very low. Ymir also taken down. Odin finally taken out there from a Natalie. Ymir putting up the wall, and a ton of action there coming out all of a sudden. And only 1 kill through all of that. That is crazy.
I want to point out, for the action in mid, Takati had blown, I think, 2 ults before the change came out. The second one hit absolutely nothing. If he'd have been a little more patient with it and waited for the ult, he would have had a double kill there.
Oh, yeah, because it would have stunned longer and allowed a little bit more damage to come out. So, really unfortunate there, as you said, that just that one little mistake making them miss essentially 2 kills. So, very close still, 3-1. 1 more kill did come out. Loki getting a bit of pressure here. Hebo coming in, though, doing quite a bit of damage on her, just jumping away, and now knocked up. There's the ult from Hebo. Is going to get the kill in now on her, coming back, being played by Zatman. Going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Huge burst damage coming out as Loki uses his 3, being played by Xing, as all of the viewers and yourself had guessed. And now it's going to tie it up 3-3, pulling within about 1,000 gold. So good turnaround here. And so apparently I am not privy to this information. Apparently his Loki is amazing.
Yes, that guy's been destroying ranked queues with Loki. But on her there, major reason for that death is he was way too far pushed up without any mana. Loki and Hebo, some ridiculous burst between them, and without a way to get out or create some distance there, he was definitely just asking for a death.
Oh, Artemis caught in the Odin ult. Odin not able to finish her off. The slow coming out. Here's the auto attacks using that sprint, which you talked about. Is she going to turn around? No, she just decides to back away, being played by Barbaric. And Agni looks like was exchanging there with Guan Yu, jumped over. Ymir might be setting up for a gank. And so we'll see if he's coming over to Artemis. Artemis still trying to duke it out a little bit with this Odin. Odin doing a very good job luring her in. The freeze does hit. There's the slow. Another slow. And she's not going to be able to get out of that one. Being slowed way too much is taken out. So good bait there by Odin, keeping him pulled in there. And obviously communication coming out from Ymir. And oh, Ares just missing the chains there to keep. I'm guessing that was Loki, and is going to get away. Hebo now showing up. And so 4-3 now. The gold lead still sitting around 1,000. No tower has gone down. And one thing that I've never really known about MOBAs, I've played them a lot, played them a long time, but I've never really understood when that transition from you know, beginning game to mid game really happens. When is it in Smite? Like, when do you say, okay, we're no longer in early game, we're in mid game, it's time to start roaming? Is it based off kind of, you know, how different lanes are performing? Is it somewhat time based, level based?
Well, roaming is one thing that's going to happen in the early game regardless, if you're playing with any type of good team. The idea to completely abandon, like, your beginning lane, I guess, is the good term for it, pretty much comes when your team can either say, okay, we can't do anything else in this lane now, we have to switch it up, or, okay, we've got an advantage, let's switch it up on them. Generally that'll happen around the time a tower drops. That's just the common thing for it, which is why you see a lot of people expect that's when the game shifts in pubs. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I mean, you can decide that and then force a tower to drop with, say, a 3 or 4 man push, you know?
Yeah, right. And so what you're saying is essentially either you need to make an adjustment to stop what they've got going, or you make an adjustment to keep yourself snowballing.
Yes.
Oh, actually, a lot of coming out. Hebo is going to ult on her, now ulting, not able to get a kill there. And you see the sprint on Loki, the slow coming out. And there's the 3 being used. Good push away. However, Hebo with the knock up. There's the attacks in the back. Uses the immunity. Is his leap going to be up in time? No, it is not. And that's going to be a double kill onto Ares and on her. Sorry for cutting you off there.
That's
and
perfectly fine. Like I said, the burst from that lane just showing. Even with his escapes up that time, they were able to bridge the gap and just completely destroy him.
And ult coming out. Takiti going to go immune, so no follow-up from Guan Yu. I remember playing in a game not too long ago, and people were giving me a lot of hassle because I said we should Hebo side lane. But it's actually something I've seen quite a bit in competitive play here. Is that kind of traditional? Or is Hebo going to be a mid lane at all?
I think... Okay, I'm going to take a little credit here. I don't care if people want to give it to me or not. I think that kind of started with us, with X-Pad running it a lot. But, you know, Hebo's one of those mages where he can be played in the mid lane effectively, questionably. But in a side lane situation where you have somebody to kind of keep him safe and, you know, just keep him moving, you want to say something about this action? Or should I just
yes, great jumping from on her to knock away Guan Yu, and Agni is going to be able to stay alive. The follow-up from Vomana, Artemis chasing down with that sprint, auto attacks coming out, Jerby taken out, and on her looks like he'll be able to clean up Odin on the other side. 3 players go down, and he's going to pull it up. 6-6, it is even. Yeah, my apologies. I always feel bad cutting people off, man. I think that's something I got to get over.
Cut me off, dude, because I can't commentate like you can. So just do it, and I'll get back to my talking later.
Okay, can do. Vomana duking it out with Loki. Loki with that sprint goes invisible, but on her, walks right into it. Nice job by Xing using his 3 for that burst damage. Is gonna end up getting that kill. That was pretty dirty, and I mean that in a good way. Stun comes out though on Loki. There's the 2. Some follow-up ult. He's able to juke him. Does not juke that slow though, but uses his 1 to get away, go invisible. They're going to be chasing him down, using his 2 for a little bit of protection. She comes around, not too much damage coming out. Is he going to get caught? Xing still trying to get away, not going to take any damage from the archers. Odin now coming in to support. Artemis not able to hit the volley, and Xing will make it out of there. So very good job by Xing, knowing his limitations, and I think he got a little surprised there, but still able to get in and out, and will be able to get that kill. So very nice job. Actually, Vomana though coming in. Hebo taking a lot of damage, going to ult away, and now sitting at about half health, going to use the sprint himself to try to get away, and I can't move the camera. There we go. And so Juice doing a good job. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's not blowing your ult when you get a kill, but Odin and Guan Yu picking up a kill now, and 6-8, Juice is in the lead. So Juice kind of starting to take over a little bit, but still down in the gold. And what would you say is keeping?
I just want to point out real quick before you ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Yeah.
Xing almost did die there. After he stealth, Artemis hit him with an auto attack. The position he was in probably tipped her off that he doubled back. If she maybe had slightly faster of attack speed, I don't know if her attack speed boost was down or what of it, but she could have picked him up easily with just 1 more shot.
And so, I didn't even notice that she got hit. I did see him. I thought it was the Vomana actually that got it, so it must have been that Artemis. And yeah, like you're saying, just able to get a couple more auto attacks, would have been able to get a kill, and that would have been a big difference taking Xing out, as Xing has finished his Executioner, has also, actually we might have some action. Okay, I just heard on her jump, so I jumped over to him, but no action from him. And those, I mean, 1 kill like that can make a huge difference in a game, am I right?
Yeah, definitely. That definitely would have slowed his momentum right there.
Right, absolutely, and especially when you have someone like Artemis, and we were talking about the ability for Artemis to escape. Well, I think Loki might be able to blow her. Actually, Artemis taking a lot of heat here. Is going to get slowed. There's the Odin ult, and Ymir ult right on top of it. Nowhere for you to go, and that is what you said you thought would happen. Anytime Odin could, gonna ult with her, and actually having Harvest there with them to get the Ymir ult on top of it, and she is going to get taken out. And unfortunately, Artemis not able to get a lot going.
She's in trouble this game.
Yes.
Especially with that Heartseeker pickup. She's now 1-3.
Yes, 1 and 3.
Barbaric's gonna
Here's
have
an
a
ult
rough game
coming
ahead of him.
out, though. The stun followed up on top of Guan Yu can avoid it. There's the ult, though, from Hebo, and the 3 gets the finish. And good avoiding the ult there, running right into Vomano. They're going to use that speed burst and the sprint. Oh, and Guan Yu not able to follow up, but there's the pin. The slow coming out, and no one is going to be able to follow that up. And Allied gets out from Hebo. Again, my apologies for interrupting you there, but... action coming out unexpectedly, and Allied really turned that around with the ult, did a good job, got the kill. Agni dashing away, actually, and no more follow-up. So, wow, what an exchange there in mid lane.
I want to say Jerb saved him there with a heal, because he looked like he should have went down, but I didn't see the heal go out, so I can't be positive about it. And I was just on the verge of saying I'm not liking this Guan pick from Jerb, but there it goes and saves Allied and saves their momentum, so...
Well, the Guan Yu mid, how typical is that? I don't think I've ever seen one. Oh, actually, though, here's a stun onto Xing. Xing taking some auto attacks, going to be trying to juke away. You see them both waiting, sprints, gets put in the tangle, going to go immune, and the board just stunned him. So unfortunate timing there from the ult, and he's going to get out.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
He probably shouldn't have got out of that, but that was... Wow. That just shows how far behind Artemis is. She has no stacks on that Heartseeker. If she had any stacks, or maybe had that Executioners completed instead of the Heartseeker, she could have lit him up a lot more.
And some more follow-up here on mid. Gonna get the freeze. Ares trying to ult, not able to pull him into the tower range. The final ult hitting from Guan Yu, dashing through, doing a bit of damage. Going to have to go away. Ymir following up. Is he going to be able to get a freeze here? Should be coming out any second. There's a chains onto Guan Yu. Guan Yu getting taken down very low on her, getting the kill with the ultimate. So very good job. And Wigbeaner barely getting away there on that Ares. That's exactly what they needed. They need to get a few kills here to get caught up. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. But what is the main way? How is it that people can be down in kills? Okay, it's 7 to 11, and be up in gold. They're not anymore. It's 32,000 to 31,000, but they were for quite a while. How do teams do that? How do they not have the kill advantage but have the goal advantage?
Jungle control and last hitting.
Last hitting does make that big of a difference.
Yes. Always will, always does. I want to go back to the Jerbion Guan thing. The Guan thing, I'm pretty sure is only him. I have not seen anybody else practice it, although I have seen him do it. And as far as I'm concerned, there's just not enough damage there. There's not enough reliable damage there. You have your dash, yes. It does not have the best scaling, though. Even if he were to build pure mage, with everybody taking prot buffs the way they are, it would not make any difference at all as we see Anatoly chasing glasses around. I want a Benny Hill in the background here.
Right. And he does get the kill finally, eventually. I jumped over to Agni to see what was following up, but there's the knockup from on her, just missing the ult. Good immunity to avoid the ult damage from Hebo, but Guan Yu able to hit all of them there, and finally taken out. And on her, not able to follow up as his ult is still down, so not able to turn that around. However, Hebo walking into the chains here of Ares, and the 3 coming out does get the kill, so Hebo ends up finally getting taken out, and we're still sitting at about 1,000 gold differential. Guan Yu dashing in, however, on her just able to quickly clear that lane with his spear. And what would you say Procore needs to do to come back? And they're not far behind. They're about 4 kills behind, but they are down about 1,000 gold, which, I mean, it's not a ton, especially at the 18-minute mark. But what would you say needs to be done for Procore to really turn this around and start really taking off?
I think they just need to stall it out a little bit. They need some time for Barbaric to be useful again. He needs some time to farm. I think with the other 4 members in their team comp, they should be able to give that to him. I don't think the Juice team has a lot of diving potential, I guess, since they have essentially 3 tanks on.
I'm going to cut you off here. Stun coming. Oh, never mind. It ends up being nothing. Continue. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be more.
They do have the 3 tanks on their lineup right now, but I don't think that's enough to really force any major pressure right now, especially since the other 4 members of... Which is that, Procore? Yes, Procore. Procore should be able to focus down Xing and Allied, and that's where a lot of their damage is going to lie, because I honestly don't think Derby's doing enough damage right now with the Guan, as we see the Gold Fury attempt coming out.
Yes, but the ult from Guan Yu is going to stun quite a few players, and I think it might have been stolen. No, blue team did get it. Procore gets it. Artemis gets a kill onto Hebo, and now Ares taken out. Odin is going to ult, get quite a few people in there. Loki doing a bit of damage on her, able to jump away. Artemis using the sprint, trying to get away. Guan Yu does finally get taken out. Now Artemis getting some follow-up there, gets a couple auto attacks. However, everyone getting taken down all over. Ultimate from Vomana, going to be trying to heal up, is going to be able to. Agni trying to do a bit of damage, chase down Loki, but it does not look like Loki will be able to be killed. The wall from Ymir will make sure that doesn't happen, and now Odin is going to show up here and ends up taking almost no damage from himself, and so that ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange with the Gold Harpy. And now it's going to be evened up. It's a 600 gold advantage now in the favor of blue. My apologies for cutting you off again.
That's
you were
fine.
talking about the tanks for Juice, but Odin actually has a Heartseeker and Voidblade 3, and so is definitely going that attack damage build. How do you feel about that? Does Odin have enough innate tankiness, or I mean, yeah, tell me what you think about that build.
Odin does have a lot of innate tankiness to him, and I'm not a fan of Heartseeker on anyone, generally speaking. But this is, other than that, it's pretty standard. I mean, even with that, he's going to be very tanky when it comes to physical damage, and dish out surprising amounts of damage. Let's go with that. I want to say that Gold Fury fight was really good for Procore. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the Agni and Hebo. Because they wound up with the gold. It was 2-for-2 exchange. Yes, that man died, but they also took out Hebo for it, and Artemis stayed alive with the Heartseeker. That's the most important part, is she has the Heartseeker, and she stayed alive. I don't know if she picked up a kill, but she'll be able to keep farming it.
Right, that is a very good point. And we have Heartseekers on Odin and Artemis. Those look like they're the only two, so one on each side. And I know Heartseeker was insanely popular when it was the lower stack amount. Do you think that the high stack amount did make a big enough difference to make it not as worth it?
Oh yeah, definitely. They increased it by what, double? It used to be 40, now it's 60 for the same
so
amount
about
of
half,
benefit.
yeah.
Yeah, that extra 20 creeps makes a huge difference.
Right, because, I mean, if someone dies... Actually, though, a good ult there from Loki, going to put a lot of damage out of Vomana. They are able to burst him down with the help of Hebo, and it looks like we might have a setup here onto Fire Giant. Ymir gets the freeze. Artemis, though, able to avoid a lot of it. Stuck, though, in the Ymir ult. Good body block coming out from Loki. Going to net that kill. Hebo taken down very low. Ares does have this ult onto Odin, pulls him in, is taken out. Loki coming in now into the tower. I don't know how that's going to work out. No ults, though, on the side of the blue team here, but the chain's coming out. Guan Yu getting taken down very low. Double kill coming out for Takati as Loki and Odin are killed. A lot of damage still coming out here onto this Ymir. Ymir getting taken down. Gonna use the immunity. Gonna tank the tower. Uses the wall to protect a little bit of the damage. He's finally killed. Hebo, the only one to be left on his team that is Juice, as he was down to about 100 health, so barely escaping.
A lot of things I gotta say about that. That was great body blocking by Shing, like beyond perfect. If he wasn't there, Hebo would have been dead too. I think the major problem where they went wrong with that fight is, I think Lassus was doing his job in pushing them out, but I think he pushed them out a little too far and got pulled under tower for it. That forced everybody to come in and try and save him, and then they had to walk all the way back to the mid tower. That wasn't going to give them any protection to start, because it was like 1 or 2 shots away from dead. They had to walk that all the way back trying to escape. On top of that, Takati had a great stun. I think he got all 3 of them.
He did, yeah.
And,
he hit 3 in that mid lane.
They just capitalized off of Lassus pushing out a bit too far.
Yeah, I think what you said about being pulled onto the tower and forcing them to come help, he was really low health to begin with at that pull, and to be honest, I think they should have just said, okay, sorry, buddy. You know, you're dead.
That would have been acceptable losses there, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm going to check the vision here real quick, so if you guys keep your eye on the mini-map, it looks like there's very little vision at Fire Giant right now, so we'll see how they end up responding. There is 1 ward down there in the favor of the blue team. Actually, 2 wards, one near the blue buff, And that could come back and bite Juice a little bit. So Procore having the vision advantage. However, you do see there is one ward right around here. It doesn't come up on my actual mini-map, but I can see, or I'm sorry, on the actual screen, I can see the dot on the mini-map. So they might know if it does come about. But we see both teams kind of grouping here in mid. The gold favor is now 2K in the advantage of Procore, and so we talked about what they needed to do to come back. What would you say was the most influential part? I think obviously the last team fight played a big part of it.
That last team fight was definitely huge. I think it was one slip up in what they tried to do, and it kind of just snowballed back onto them.
Well, and I mean, also we can't neglect that Gold Fury fight, the 2-for-2 exchange, and getting that Gold Fury. That's a big boost.
Yeah, but I don't think that hurt Juice so much as it helped PcG.
Right.
I don't think after that fight they were really any worse for wear. It just kind of helped out PcG and what they needed to get done.
Right. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but I definitely think that would be the two moments that allowed PcG to really get back into this game. And they weren't completely out of it. They were just a little bit behind, and now they're ahead. Artemis going to pick up this prop buff, which will be very good in the next team fight. You see both teams do have all their ultimates, so I would expect someone to start putting some pressure on one of the map objectives here very soon. They've been kind of camping out here in the middle. But now, you know, I'm going to reverse the question. Oh, actually, we might have engagement here. The stun coming out, 2 chains, and is the ult going to come out from Ares? Guan Yu deciding the ult. Ares holds on to it. A lot of damage coming out. There's the Ymir ult. Ymir getting taken out very low. Odin's going to ult now. Immunity going to come out to protect him. Hebo is going to get pulled in, boxed in with the pillar, and now chains coming out, and people being killed left and right. Ymir taken out. Agni taken out. Hebo just barely not getting that kill. Vomana trying to follow up. Knocks up Hebo. Hebo will be taken out in the 2 any second. No, the kill comes out for Ares, and now Guan Yu getting taken down very low. You see the sprint being used by Artemis is going to follow up. Loki is very low himself, ends up getting back, and now that ends up being a 3-for-1 exchange, and my guess is they're going to do Fire Giant or Gold Harpy. Looks like they are going
Probably
towards this Fire Giant. And another great team fight coming out from Procore.
Yeah.
Gonna go really in the favor. I mean, the last one was was close, but won. This one though was pretty dominant.
Yeah, I do have one nitpick about that. I like the patient from Wig waiting, or like just pushing through the tanks and harassing the DPS before he ulted. But after the Guan ult came back, I would have liked to see him use the Ares ult slightly sooner. As we see Xing going down directly after the Fire Giant.
Yes, Xing was unfortunately. Not sure why he engaged. He didn't have any of his escapes up. So good turnaround from Procore, and now that's going to give him the opportunity to get this Gold Fury most likely as they
didn't have
rotate
any vision
over.
inside. He was probably trying to go for a steal. They had vision just outside. The ward just dropped, but I don't think it would have seen anything on the inside or whether or not the FG was finished.
And they do get this gold. Yeah, so that is that's very true. They probably were trying to scout, but unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time type of a thing here. And now they take their first kill lead since probably about minute 2, and have taken a 5,000 gold lead. Now you said earlier you don't look at the gold and say, oh man, we're completely out of this. But being 5,000 gold down, what do you say? At this moment, what is now the plan to get back into this game here for Juice?
The gold is not so much of an issue as the fact that the other team has Fire Giant. Right now, they're really going to need to turtle up for these next couple of minutes because they are behind. Like they have to one way or another stall. They should be able to do that just by sitting under towers with the 3 tanks that they have. Levels look relatively even. The only person that really seems behind is Ymir, but then again it's Ymir, so who cares?
Ooh, a lot of damage coming out here. Hebo is going to get ulted, pulled out along with Ymir. Hebo taken out. Follow up on Ymir. Ymir taken down to about half, now to a quarter. Going to use the wall to avoid some of the damage. Guan Yu going to ult now coming in on her, jumping out. Loki using the immunity. I'm sorry, that was Agni. The stun coming out from Artemis. Going to get a few stuns. The auto attacks coming out. Guan Yu taken down to about a quarter. Loki and Odin now showing up at full health. And only 1 kill coming out there. Jerby and Harvest very, very close to getting taken out. And they are going to get that tower. A lot of pressure we'll be putting on here. Sorry to interrupt. You're talking about sitting on the towers. And I think only 1 dying there is a pretty good exchange as all the ults are down now for
Honestly, I don't think the one that died there should have. I think he died there because he stopped to use the Hebo 3 as a harassing move, and he just got punished for it because he did it while staring down 3 people.
He absolutely did, and the reason I kind of side there, which you're probably now seeing, is the GG coming out. They can see